Hello everyone, I just wanted to go over this quick Suzuki Boulevard C50 review and some of the things that I've done when I've customized my bike. So, of course we have a different paint job here. When I purchased it from the individual in front of me, he had done a matte black paint job, had no other paint on it, so it was just a matte black. He also put the gangster rear fender on it right here. We do have different turn signals here. As you can see, we ordered them afterwards, as well as our brake lights. So we have that. All of the paint that's currently on this bike, it is a little dirty, but all the paint that's on this bike, other than the matte black finish, is paint that I did myself. So some of the other things that I have on this is I have this Kuryakin bag right here. We purchased it online on Amazon for about 150 bucks, and it's secured in place by these straps. I just have it strapped here onto the peg system, and then it's also, I have a custom bracket to hold my license plate, so it's also strapped in right there, and then you just pull it, and it also has a quick detach buckle system, so I can take it off really quick, but I can leave these here in place as long as they're not anywhere near something moving. And so it can just be taken off real quick. It has a comfort pad that you can put right here on to give you some lower back support. This is just the stock seat on here. It is a shaft driven bike. Have the standard rear pegs here, and these are some aftermarket front pegs here. I did, due to my profession, I did wrap some electrical tape over my shifter to reduce any marks on my boots that I wear. I did install a Linby bar on this. It wasn't very hard. It was actually pretty quick. Just used some slight modification, but it went on, and it is a real great addition. Lets me really kick my feet out and be relaxed on my rides. The only difference was right after I did it, wasn't used to those highway bars. Try to do a tight turn or a low turn, and that can catch you by surprise, especially if that hits the ground. We have this Memphis Shades Batwing, and it does have a quick detach system. So if you look right here, if I pull back on this switch, then I can move this hook up, and it's the same thing on both sides. As soon as I move that up, then I can bring the whole Batwing fairing off. And so this fairing includes, there's actual fairing itself. We have the chrome trim, just a 5-inch windshield, and then we put a big zipper pouch on back here. In this big zipper pouch, we keep some other miscellaneous tools, and then we usually keep some sunglasses in here and other stuff in the pouches that we might want. We do have these custom risers, custom handlebars, and custom grips on this as well. So we had a slight incident with the bike before, and we decided to completely redo the whole thing. That's when we put our highway bars on there. We changed out this whole front end. So we just have the spike tip handles here, and then we have the black Renthal pretty much straight handlebars, and they had to be rotated forward just a little bit so that our controls wouldn't hit the gas tank. Due to that rotation forward and the new mirrors that we have, these mirrors, if you look on the back side here, they have the blinkers built into them, so it's that dual purpose. I like having lots of lights on it, try and catch the attention of other people's, so that hopefully they won't, run into you. So we do have all that was installed, but due to the bars being rotated forward just slightly, that makes it so that these mirrors kind of have an issue with this front fairing. So it's all due to the custom paint job. Otherwise that fairing would fit on there just great. Again, more paint on there. We replaced this front headlight. So again, didn't require much modification at all. Just used a different bracket, put it on there. That actually made it easier to put on my new blinkers and the fairing system, because the fairing support brackets actually come right under here, and they're going to use this bolt for this particular model. Front fender is also aftermarket, and that was placed on the same time as that gangster rear fender. So those are some things we have on there. We do have another shifter, which we'll probably be putting on a little bit later, but we've just kept that one on there because it has the tape, and so reduces that mark on my boot as I'm riding. Other than that, really great bike. Haven't had any issues with it so far. We did recently just put on these new Cobra Pipes. I'll turn it on here in a minute and give you a example of how great these are. So I still have the stock pipes in the back. The reason why we kept those is because some states actually require that the exhaust and music has to be below a certain decibel level, and these are definitely above that for some of the states that we go to, so I can swap them out as needed to make sure I can still keep on riding my bike with no problem. So Cobra Exhaust has been real great. With the Cobra Exhaust, we have a Cobra FI 2000 fuel management system, and that's sitting right here under the seat. So without the screw, I'm not going to pull that up, but it's sitting right here under the seat, right next to the battery. The LEDs I'm going to show you, I have the remote that's just hanging out right here, just within arm reach as I'm sitting on the bike. So if we turn that on, I actually have them placed all over. So go over to this other side, the high side, to show you a little bit better. So here we have the two LEDs right here shining straight out, trying to get the attention of the car that's riding right next to me. Then I have two more. This one's came loose now, but they sit right under the gas tank along that trim right there, and they point across the bike and to the other side, trying to hit some of that chrome and bounce it right off. So I have two more that are sitting up here right under the gas tank. So it's just those 8 lights I have installed on my bike right now, and again, they're just all on that switch. So we'll turn that off, and we'll go ahead and turn on the bike at this point and let you hear it. All right. So this does have a nice throaty growl just as it's in place. So we just have it neutral, just hanging out right now, and it is very throaty. Just sitting here at an idle is much louder than the stock pipes that were on here. So if we accelerate it all, give it in place, it is much louder than what it was. And so if you really crank it, I mean, it'll give you some decibel volumes. I don't want to bother anybody else in the housing area here, but these pipes are much louder than the other ones. So I do try and do as much as I can to stand out and make sure that other people notice that I am there. So that's why I like having these additional lights. These blinkers are much brighter. These blinkers are much brighter than the standard ones. And then I also have the lights up here now on my mirrors. And I also have those LEDs. And then I installed those extra pipes, so I try and give that additional noise there as well. I'm just doing everything I can. Also wear a yellow reflective vest that's reversible, so I have the leather on the other side. So those are some of the things that I do for this vehicle and some of the custom portions that I have on it. Just a quick review on the Actual C50. The C50 is a great bike. I love how it is actually a shaft-driven bike. I don't like having to deal with the belts, with the wear and tear on the belts and the fitment on them. You have to check it every time, and then also with the chains, where the chains can rust depending on how well you use it or how well you keep your bike and how well you clean it. So I just prefer the shaft system. Seems like a whole lot less parts that can go wrong. It's also a whole lot easier for me to take off my rear tire, do any maintenance down there, put my sissy bar on and take it off. It just makes it a whole lot easier. I like it. Pretty easy to work with there. Due to the shaft system, I haven't had any problems with the ride. It's been a nice, smooth ride. It is an 800cc bike is the model that I have, so it doesn't have a lot of power, but it gives me everything that I need just for my day-to-day commute. I would love a bigger bike to go on a lot of rides with. You know, when I first purchased the bike, I bought it for about $2,000, and the reason why it gave me it at $2,000 is because it had a oil leak that the previous owner could not find. So when I opened up the side panels here, I had found that the stator wires, the gasket that holds the stator wires on it, had actually popped out of the side of the engine. So I just put that back in. I rode down the road a little bit more, and the oil pressure actually kept on building back up, and it would pop it out again. So I finally just got a sealant, put that back in place, and for the most part, after that, I haven't really had any problems with it. I keep my tires nice and clean. I do have the Michelin Commander 2 tires. Those, in comparison to my last tires I had on the bike, are just extremely better. Their grip on them is much different. Just immediately when we put the tires on the bike and took it out for a ride, the ride was much smoother, and again, that grip was just incredibly better than what it was before. So Michelin Commander 2 tires is what I have on there. Fresh set, so that really helps when I'm out doing my rides and everything. Other than that, it's been a really smooth bike, really easy to do the maintenance on. I change out all the parts myself. I do the wiring myself, do the oil changes and everything myself. So it's been a great bike to work on. It is a fuel-injected model. I prefer the fuel-injected. We're actually going up to some cold weather areas, so that's going to be a huge help for us up there. But I love this bike. I'm probably going to keep it in my collection as long as I possibly can. Hopefully pass it down, because it's been a very dependable, very great bike to work with. I just want to do a quick run for you guys just to show how well the bike operates, how smooth it rides, and then just give you a better idea of these Cobra pipes that we have put on it. Alright, if you have any questions, or if you like the actual bike, like the modifications that we put on there and everything, please give it some likes, share it, and comment. If you have any questions, please let us know. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. And have a good day.